Against Gamache, and here's the tail of the tape for the fight in which they agreed to weigh in at 141 pounds, one over the 140-pound limit. You can see that Gatti hit the scales at 141, although Gamache's people thought maybe he got a little help with the scale, and astonishingly, Gatti has put on 19 pounds in the 27 hours since the weigh-in. Yesterday, he'll enter the ring at 160 to only 146 for Joey Gamache. And Larry, therein lies one of the discrepancies of the modern sport.
But also an indication that Gatti had dehydrated too much in the recent days and rehydrated too much over the last day plus.
Punch stat numbers, Larry.
The key numbers here are Gatti's defensive numbers. He gets hit a lot. He eats leather the way some people eat French fries, and that makes him vulnerable to a pretty good fighter, Joey Gamache.
And rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Arturo Gatti Joey Gamache fight is scheduled for 10 rounds, non-title, using the rules of the New York State Athletic Commission. And they're a little different, so listen up. The standing 8 count is
to ask for this fight. That's what got him into position here. The performance that Arturo Gatti would like to mimic tonight is one he produced nearly 5 years ago here in Madison Square Garden, when he took the first title he won from Tracy Harris Patterson, and in doing so showed off his style at that time as a boxer puncher. Since then, he's become known as a brawler, and that's the pattern he'd like to reverse.
The reason being that bigger, better fighters have busted him open early in fights, making him fight from desperation. But boy, nobody ever fought better from desperation.
Gatti now back under the wing of the trainer who brought him to prominence, Hector Rocha. He says he believes that he doesn't get by with as much extracurricular fun training for Rocha as was the case for the main events team that trained him for a period of time: Lou Duva, Ronnie Shields, Roger Bloodworth, and their group. Arturo Gatti, 1 win, 3 losses in his last 4 fights, 30 wins, 4 losses overall, 25 KOs. For a 140-pound fighter, he's a big puncher, and since he enters the ring weighing 160, he ought to be. While you're watching the fight tonight, also log on to hbo.com/boxing, where you'll be able to score each round, chat with other boxing fans, and answer the question. Tonight's question: will Oscar De La Hoya rise back to the top of the welterweight division? Offer us your answer on that one, and then after tonight's fight, log on to chat all night with our boxing expert, Steve Farhood, at www.hbo.com/boxing. Now let's go into the ring for Michael Buffer and the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the Mecca of Boxing, Madison Square Garden, New York City, where tonight Bob Arum's Top Rank Incorporated, along with your undefeated king of beers, Budweiser, proud to be your bud, present HBO World Championship Boxing, sanctioned by the New York State Athletic Commission Chairman Mel Southard. The 3 judges scoring this bout, assigned to ringside, they'll be scoring it on a 10-point must system. They are Don Ackerman, Ron McNair, and Luis Rivera. And when the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action, Benjamin Estevez. And now the co-feature of the evening, this bout presented by Top Rank in association with Main Events, 10 rounds of boxing in the junior welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black, trimmed with silver, and weighing in at an even 140 pounds. His professional record, an outstanding 55 victories, 38 knockouts to his credit, with only 3 losses. He comes to us from Queens, New York. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the 3-time world champion, Joey Gamache. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing white, trimmed with blue, and weighing 141 pounds. His professional record, also outstanding, 30 victories, including 25 by knockout, with 4 losses. Fighting out of Jersey City, New Jersey, presenting the former junior lightweight champion of the world, Arturo Gatti.
Okay, man, I want to repeat my instructions. I want you to give me a nice clean match. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my command at all times. Touch up and good luck to both of you.
Arturo Gatti says confidently, I'm going to win my next 20 fights in a row. He's got an opponent who can make it difficult for him to win 1 in a row.
Stay in your corner.
Gatti looked absolutely starched to the bone yesterday. It's a different look as he gets into the ring tonight with 19 pounds of hydration having been put into his body. Gamache says Gatti's lifestyle, the way he trains, the way he brings himself to a fight, must catch up to him as his career goes on. He says, hey, I may be older, but I know that I've taken better care of myself than Arturo has.
Gatti is starting out with a good jab, trying to find the range, because Gamache is making certain that he keeps the distance for a few rounds.
Gamache sneaks in a left hook counter, and Gatti fires a right hand and a wide left to the body. The barometer on Gatti's commitment to going back to a boxing style will be how long is it before he dispenses with the jab, because in his most exciting fights, Arturo has wasted very little time in getting into a toe-to-toe position, squaring his shoulders up and just trading shots with his opponents. But here you see Gatti doubling up on the jab, sticking it again. Gamache trying to pick his spots and flurry. When Gatti stops punching, there's a solid right-hand lead down the pipe by Gatti.
Gamache he's ahead on the experience. He's been around for a long time, so he's not going to be intimidated by the moment. If you're going to beat him, you're going to have to physically beat him up.
I'll tell you how long, George. In 1978, as a 12-year-old amateur, he fought on a card with Marvin Hagler, who was fighting professionally.
Well, and we haven't even mentioned that Gamache was born and raised in Lewiston, Maine, a name with its own colorful place in boxing history. And there's a knockdown by Gatti as he puts Gamache across the bottom rope with a minute still to go in the first.
6.
Gamache
7.
is wobbly.
8. Step to me, step to me.
And Thunder Gatti closes in, hoping to finish, and Gamache lands a blistering left hook. The left hook by Gamache momentarily stopped Gatti in his tracks.
He's trying to pull a Gatti.
Oh, there's a big left hook by Gatti, and the body punch set it up. And Joey Gamache looks very wobbly now with 30 seconds still to go in the round. 3 knockdown rule is in effect in New York State. 1 more knockdown and this will be over.
Hold on, you better hold on.
Gamache punching back, but giving Gatti a chance to land. Gamache almost went down. That would have been the end of it. And now Gatti's glove touches the canvas, but Esteves rules it a slip, not a knockdown. Looks like Gamache is going to make it out of the round. And Gatti landed one more left hook for good measure, well after the bell sounded.
And Gamache staggers toward the wrong corner. And Gatti gets warned by the referee.
Relax. How you feel, champ? Good. Do you know where you're at? Yeah. Huh? You know, fight. All right. You know where you're at? Yeah, he knows where you're at. The Gatti fight. Okay. He's a hell of a fight.
Set it up. Set it up, remember. Okay? Don't go crazy. Keep using your jab.
You get a chance to be asked.
There's the first knockdown. This long right hand as Gatti moves backward, hitting him oddly on the right side of his face as he turned away. Still the first knockdown. This is usually the kind of action we see from Gatti in the last round of a fight, not the first round. And when the doctor asked Gamache if he knew where he was, he said, "I'm in the garden. It's a Gatti fight."
Those were the right answers. Good enough to keep Gamache in the fight for the second round. Round one was huge for Gatti. 36 out of 73, 26 out of 43 power shots, several damaging left hooks.
This night is because of the reach. Gatti is able to land these right hands from a distance, even at Cook far reaching.
He's also looks so much bigger than he does.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a 15-pound weight advantage. Every time he lands a shot, it's abundantly clear. And Benji Esteves isn't going to bother with a count here, as Gamache's eyes were closed before he hit the canvas. This is the second time in 2 fights now that Gatti has come into the ring outweighing an opponent by between 15 and 20 pounds and has put the opponent away early. And for the second time, there is considerable concern about Gamache because of the way he went down.
His head may have hit the canvas pretty hard, but we see from here that he's lifting his head now. This is a very good win for Arturo Gatti. The last time he fought, it was against a no-hoper, as it turned out. Gamache is a legitimate fighter as Gatti tries to fight his way back into the picture now as a junior welterweight. Gamache now leans back on his head. He's being talked to by a doctor, but he is hurt.
Now, a lot of the boxers don't like these thick canvas, the way they got it with the padding on there, because they're not able to move and slide. But they've now made it regulations to make these things real soft. And by the way, you saw what happened to Gamache. He was able to hit his head, but at the same time, there was a lot of padding to make certain there's no permanent damage by it.
So you're happy the padding's there when you see a guy go down the way Gamache did.
Yeah, a lot of us, we don't like it. It wears your legs out over a long period of time in the ring if you're going to move around. But if you happen to fall on your head, thank goodness.
Yeah, well, we'll show you replays here in a minute as soon as we're relatively certain that Joey Gamache is going to be okay. Our primary concern right now as broadcasters is to be certain that Gamache is going to be able to come out of the ring in decent order. And that's what we'll be following for the next few moments. Meanwhile, medical personnel are right there. Gamache trying perhaps a little too hard to get up on his own power. And now you wonder when they're going to bring a gurney in and do this the right way. It'll be the second time in a row, last August 14 and now again tonight, that Arturo Gatti's opponent leaves the ring with medical supervision after Gatti was allowed to come into the ring more than 24 hours after the weigh-in and weighing nearly 20 pounds more than he had at the time of weighing in. This is going to become an issue in his future fights. But as for the blueprint, George, even though it was brief, Gatti boxed early, and that set up the opportunity for him to do damage.
Yeah, he actually caught him on the end of a lot of shots, and that's where it really hurts, when you get caught on the end of these shots. Like a boxer, he did good damage, but at the same time, he didn't have to brawl and get it.
Gatti's manager, Pat Lynch, came and leaned over the top rope and shouted excitedly to us, "We're back." Of course, in terms of fan interest, he was never gone. But as a competitive force, Arturo Gatti does indeed seem to be on the upswing. And as Joey Gamache begins to come around, we've got a chance to show you second round replays so you can see the conclusion of the fight. Right uppercut. And you see why we were worried about Joey Gamache, whose eyes were closed well before he hit the canvas. The uppercut was perfect, George.
And not only that, he's getting his whole body into it, like one of those home run hitters throw a baseball, hit a baseball. You don't want to be hit like that from wide range. Stand way out there. Nothing blocked. Everything is right on target.
So Arturo Gatti's punching power does a number on Joey Gamache in a round and a fraction.
Up, cross, boom. Classic finishing. Every shot. 1, 2, 3.
Three-punch combination.
Each one on target.
Well thrown power shots by a well-balanced Arturo Gatti.
You'd like to think that a lot of fighters wouldn't like to be carried out on a stretcher, but there are times when, look, you got to say to yourself, I know I'm a man. Hey, I don't need to walk out on this one.
There's been talk about a Gatti matchup with Julio Cesar Chavez, and in terms of style, I think it would be pleasing for a lot of people to watch, but I wonder if Chavez at his age and at his advanced state of boxing decrepitude ought to be in the ring with a young lion like Gatti at this point.
What do you think, Judge?
Harold Letterman sitting over there shaking his head as if to say, I don't know, might be entertaining.
He's scared.
And there's a look at Arturo. Sportsman, nice guy. He was disturbed at what happened to Reyes Munoz last August 14, and rather than to stick around and watch the main event on that show at Foxwoods in Connecticut, he went to the hospital to be certain that Munoz would be okay. I'm sure that his primary concern ever since referee Benji Esteves stepped in and ruled the end of the bout has been Gamache. Be sure that he's all right.
There weren't any cuts in this boxing match. Maybe it was too fast, but you would think punches were thrown, but he hasn't got any open cuts, which is a good sign for Gatti.
That's a big night for Arturo. Let's go to Michael Buffer for the official particulars.
Michael, they threw it. Much room. Be careful.
Ladies and gentlemen, the official time, 41 seconds of round number 2. Following the knockdown, referee stops the contest. Your winner by knockout victory. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, he is back. Arturo Thunder Gatti.
And now let's go up to Larry Merchant in the ring with the winner.
All right, Jim, first let me report that Joey Gamache is up, walking around. The doctor asked him a series of questions, which he responded to correctly. He's drinking some water now. Seems to be all right. But Arturo, after congratulating you for the second straight time, you've had a little bit of a scare in the ring, haven't you, after Reyes Munoz?
Well, the first fight with Reyes Munoz was, was kind of scary, but he's all right. But Joey Gamache is fine now. He's up.
So you're feeling better?
I feel great.
All right. Tell us what you were trying to do in this fight and how it materialized that you got such a quick knockout.
Well, I trained very hard for this fight. I did everything my trainer Hector Roca told me to do, and I did, and everything worked out good.
You seemed bigger and stronger than him. Did you sense that immediately, that you could reach him and hurt him?
Well, after the first round, I knew right away I was much stronger than him. And like I did, I stuck the jab at him, and that's what opened the opportunity for me to knock him out.
Are you satisfied that you went about this in the way that you had hoped to, by being a boxer, puncher, rather than a brawler?
Well, definitely, it feels good to win in a knockout. It's my second fight back. I won in a knockout, and it feels good that I'm going out, and hopefully I can fight again in April.
What are your goals that are foreseeable right now?
Well, for me, it's to fight hopefully the 29th and in April, and hopefully fight for a world title in November.
Who would you like to fight?
Costa Azul, if it's possible. I 140.
And you feel, coming up from 130 where you won your first title, you feel that you're strong enough to compete with the 140 pounders?
Definitely at 140, I feel great. And another 2-3 fights like this, I'll be ready for a world title.
Explain one thing to us. You said you had been in shape or close to this weight for some time, and yet you still put on 19 pounds in 27 hours. Do you have any idea why?
I have no idea, but it looks better. It's like I'm heavy, but it's not bloated. I don't feel bloated, and I was fast tonight. So it's a good 19 pounds.
Welcome back.
Thank you very much, Larry.
We'll be seeing you again. Jim?